How deep is your love? Is it like the ocean?
Good morning. Great news. We're living longer. That should be celebrated. But you listen to any media articles at the moment, we hear about the crisis in social care. We hear about the NHS being stretched beyond belief because of older people. We're not really celebrating the fact that we're living longer. Today, I'm going to give you some facts and figures and tell you the story of Sporting Memories, something I'm very proud of. It was a social enterprise that was born and bred in Yorkshire, so it was bound to succeed. When I give you these facts and figures, I want you to just try and personalise those and just think about perhaps your grandparents, your parents, aunts, uncles, friends, neighbours, and communities as a whole. Because what I hope to do at the end of this talk is to inspire you to take an action, to help us, to help communities, to help people age well. Now, to age well, there's a few factors: diet, alcohol, all those things that we know we should really take care of. But we also know that to age well and live well, we need to remain connected to our communities, to our friends, to our families, to our passions, to our interests. We want to have fun. We need to continue learning. We need to be cognitively stimulated, to put a term around it. And we need to remain physically active. 25.7% of the population are totally physically inactive. That's a stunning amount of people who are creating a ticking time bomb around their own health needs. But to put into context older people, having just become an older person myself, the government has actually stated that old age starts at the age of 50. Can't say I feel particularly old, but I acknowledge that I am 50. So I'm a stakeholder in this. I want to make sure I can age well. Loneliness has a massive impact on people's well-being. And loneliness isn't just about older people, it's across all age ranges. But in terms of older people, 5 million people over the age of 75 live alone. And 1 million of those say that the TV is their main form of company. Now, we know loneliness has the same impact on our health and our well-being as the equivalent of smoking 15 cigarettes a day. Loneliness is a killer. Dementia, we know there's 850,000 people in the UK living with dementia. What isn't always talked about is the 670,000 people who are in caring roles as informal, unpaid carers looking after their loved ones living with the condition. In terms of depression and low mood, we know that 60% of care home residents have low mood or depression, an entirely treatable condition. Yet 80% of those receive no treatment or intervention to improve their mood. Don't know whether I want to really live long based on those stats. 2/3 of people don't develop dementia and can live long and happy lives. We all have to take a stake in making sure that our well-being is increased and our chances of aging well are improved. So, why Sporting Memories? Well, sport's a great connector, isn't it? Regardless of whether you're a sports fan or someone who participates in sport, we all have sporting memories, whether we want them or not. London 2012, immediately think of the Mobot and Jess Ennis and Super Saturday. But we can take sporting memories right back. And even if you don't like sport, you've still got memories of trying to avoid doing that cross-country run at school. So whether you like it or not. We use sport to tap into people's psyche, people's memory. And we started out in Leeds. Councillor Judith Blake very kindly launched our first project. We got a tiny innovation grant from Skills for Care to test out the concept of using sport as a focus for reminiscence, using images, memorabilia, commentary, sights, sounds, smells to help stimulate memory. Using images such as those on the screen at the moment to create conversations, to nurture communication and to connect people. And what we did, we tested out in 15 care homes. We provided staff relatives, visitors, volunteers, the resources to run sessions called Sporting Memory Sessions, focusing on sport, starting a conversation. Really simple concept, and that little project actually worked really, really well. We found people were getting stimulated and active, and actually people living with dementia could start telling their own stories based around sport. An activity coordinator in one care home in Grimsby who attended one of our sessions took it upon herself to research every single resident of her care home, their sporting history. She turned the lounge into the Sporting Memories Lounge, and it told the story of every resident. One of those residents was Joyce, 96 years old, living with dementia in a care home. Joyce had been an ice dancer. She was a really good ice dancer as well. It was her passion. She loved it. What Jackie did through connecting through sport with Joyce was to take her back to the ice rink. 96-year-old lady coming out of a care home, going to an ice rink. Joyce worked with the ice rink staff and arranged for some skates and an adaptive frame. And at 96 years old, Joyce found herself back in the centre of the ice. All the feelings surrounding that, the cold, the noise, the sounds, the breeze. She complained about the standard of the skates, because they were just higher skates, they weren't competition. But then the staff took her in an adaptive sled round the ice rink, and she came alive again. It reawakened her love of sport and her passions. Now, we do that across communities now. In 2014, we were founded in 2011, and we didn't grow particularly quickly, but the concept and the momentum did. And in 2014, we found ourselves working with Premier League clubs, rugby union clubs, about 400 different partner organisations across communities to work across generations to give communities the skills to run sporting memories groups. Those groups now consist of two elements. A reminiscence session, helping people make new friendships, bringing lasting joy to people, reawakening their passions for sport. There's always a break at half-time. You've got to have Bovril and a pie. It's a sporting event. You've got to have Bovril. It's a great stimulant for memories. The second half of the session, and that's what our group participants themselves implemented, because what they found was, by reawakening their memories of sport, they actually wanted to play sport again. So in Northalton Library, up in North Yorkshire this morning, in the reference library, there will be 30 people, husbands and wives, sharing their memories of sport, but then they will take down a lovely portrait picture off the wall and put a dartboard up, and some of the men will be playing darts, some of the ladies will be playing New Age curling and bocce. They've even played walking football in the reference library. We get people active, we get people connected, and people making lasting friendships. Of course, that all sounds very, very nice, but what about the evidence? Well, we have a formal collaboration with Leeds Beckett University, but we're also working with 9 other universities across the country to build the evidence base. We have some fantastic case studies and examples from projects where Comic Relief funded sporting memories groups, Big Lottery have funded us, Heritage Lottery Funds have funded us, the Premier League, the PFA, the RFU. People can understand the concept of how we're trying to unite generations, because we work with schools, we work with universities, we work with colleges, we work with academies, we work with sports clubs, we work right across generations to give people the skills and knowledge to connect, to have fun, and to help people to age well. We've got a fantastic film on our homepage of our website, which tells our whole story in 2.5 minutes, and asks people to join the squad. Now, you can join our squad in many different ways. You can tweet about us. You can share our film. You can volunteer at one-off events, or you can train to help run a group. You could adopt us as your chosen charity and help us raise some more money so we can help even more people. So if you do one thing around sporting memories today, can you visit the homepage, have a look at the video, and decide how you might be able to help your community age well, live well, have fun, and stay connected. Thank you.